Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha. Jaya Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha. Jaya Girivaradhari. Jaya Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Giridhari Radhe, Jaya Radha Damodar, Jaya Radha Damodar, Jaya Radha Damodar, Jaya Radha Damodar. Jaya Laddu Gopal, Jaya Laddu Gopal, Jaya Laddu Gopal, Jaya Laddu Gopal, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Panchatata, Jaya Panchatata, Jaya Panchatata, Jaya Panchatata, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. जय श्री राधा गिरधारी की जय, राधा दामोदर की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की, गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. So before starting, today I will share the Prabhupada Lamrita. Just I'm sharing. Is it visible, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, it is visible.
Thank you, all devotees. I lost that one.
এতক্ষণ ধরে কি করতেছে জানেই না।
Just I am starting. May 971. Prabhupada. What is the devotees expansion? Prabhupada had and Prabhupada loved these deities. Okay, got it. Okay, before that, welcome and good morning to all devotees. And I humbly seek the blessings of all assembled devotees for glorification of Lord, glorification of Srila Prabhupada, glorification of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So please bless me what I say as per should be Sadhu Shastra Guru. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhayeva patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namo Ananta Koti Vaishnavindo ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita ki jai. And page number 959 and the title of that Jet Age Paribrajak Acharya. While devotees hurriedly strung garlands for the deities, Prabhupada performed the initiation ceremonies. There were 15 initiates in all. To some devotees, he gave first initiation, to some second initiation, and to others both first and second. Then he lovingly bathed the forms of Radha and Krishna and performed the fire sacrifice. While dressing the deities, he remarked that their clothes had been poorly made and that the devotees should make new ones immediately. He named the deities Sri Sri Radha Gopinath. It's still it's Sri Sri Radha Gopinath. Daily Darshans comes, very nice deity in Sydney. Vaibhavi, he initiated everyone in the temple, anyone who was there, even one boy who had last joined that week and had only come across Krishna consciousness the week before, and people who were not living in the temple, just anyone who was there and somehow serving. He wanted Krishna consciousness to be established in Australia, so he just initiated everybody. He gave first and second initiations at the same time because having installed the deities, there had to be some brahmanas. But we did not know anything. We did not know anything. We were not even ready. The altar was not finished. Prabhupada explained to me that we had to string flowers for a garland. The deity was supposed to wear one. I was running up and down the street trying to find some flowers and get some thread and make a garland. Same with the sacred thread. There were no sacred threads. Prabhupada gave the man a sacred thread at Brahmana initiation, but no one really knew what it was. So I had to run and buy some string. And while Prabhupada was initiating people, I was sitting there in the arena making sacred threads, copying the one that Bali Mardana had taken of himself. I made 5 of them and then I was next after the sacrifice. And after I came out of Prabhupada's room where he had given me the Gayatri Mantra, the other devotee said, "You are a Brahman now, so you have to have a sacred thread too." They told me to make one for myself, which I did not because someone told me later a woman was not supposed to wear one. We just did not know much. Jai Shila Prabhupada. Shila Prabhupada ki jai. So nice to read Shila Prabhupada Lamrita ki jai. So now I am sharing the today's slok. I hope it's visible. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naranchaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet Srinnatam shakatha Krishna punna shravana kirtanaha hridayantastha hi abhadrani vidhuniti suhit satam नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी मुखं करोति वाचलं पङ्गं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीगुरुं दिनतारणं हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So today's slok from Canto 5, Chapter 14, the material world as the great forest of enjoyment. And slok number 5, 14, 18. Okay, I will read the slok first, then whoever wants to read, they can read. 5, 14, 18. क्वचित् क्वचित् गृहश्रम कर्म चोदनाति भर गिरिम आरुरुक्षमान लोक व्यसन कर्षित मना कंठक शर्करा क्षेत्रं प्रविशन्न इव सिदोति. क्वचित् गृहाश्रम कर्म चोदनाति भरगिरिम् आरुरुक्षमान लोक व्यसन कर्षित मना कंठक शर्करा क्षेत्रं प्रविशन्न इव सिदोति क्वचित् गृहाश्रम कर्म चोदनाति भरगिरिम् आरुरुक्षमान लोक व्यसन कर्षित मना कंठक शर्करा क्षेत्रं प्रविशन्न इव सिदोति. If someone wants to read, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I am trying.
Yeah, Prabhu, thank you. Go ahead.
Kvachid grihashrama karma chodhanati bharagirim aruruksamano loko vaishna korshita manaha kantaka sharkara kshetram provishanniva sidoti. Hare
Thank
Krishna
you,
Mataji.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, go ahead.
Kochid grihashrama karma chodonati bharagirim arurukshamano loko vyasana kurshita manaha kantoka sharkara kshetram provishannivo sidoti. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anyone would like to decide? Otherwise, we can go to synonyms. Okay, we can read the synonyms. Anyone would like to interest to read the synonyms?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Mataji, go ahead.
Kochit, sometimes griho ashram in household life, karma chodana of the rules of fruitive activity, otibharo girim, the big hill, arurukshamana, during to ascent, loka material, vaishana to pursuits, korshita manaha, whose mind is attracted, kontoko sharkara kshetram, a field covered with thorns and sharp pebbles. Provision entering Evo like Sidoti Hilamens. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Would like to read anyone, please? Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'll do the
Yeah.
translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, yay. In household life, one is ordered to execute many yagnas and fruity activities, especially the Viva Yagna, the marriage ceremony for sons and daughters, and the sacred thread ceremony. They are all the duties of a grasta, and they are very extensive and troublesome to execute. They are compared to a big hill over which one must cross when one is attached to material activities. A person desiring to cross over these ritualistic ceremonies certainly feels pain like piercing of thorns and pebbles endured by one attempting to climb a hill. Thus, the conditioned soul suffers unlimitedly. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anyone, please?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I am reading it.
Yeah, please.
There are many social functions for keeping a prestigious position in society. In different countries and societies, there are various festivals and rituals. In India, the father is supposed to get the children married. When he does so, his responsibility to the family is complete. Arranging marriages is very difficult, especially in these days. At the present moment, no one can perform the proper ritual of sacrifice, nor can anyone afford to pay for the marriage ceremony of sons and daughters. Therefore, the householders are very much distressed when they are confronted by these social duties. It is as though they were pierced by thorns and hurt by pebbles. Material attachment is so strong that despite the suffering, one cannot give it up. Prahlad Maharaj therefore recommends Bhagavatam 7.5.5 Hitvatma patam griham andhakupam vanam gato yadharim ashrayet. The so-called comfortable family position is compared to a dark well in a field. If one falls in the dark well covered by grass, his life is lost despite his cry for rescue. Highly advanced spiritualists therefore recommend that one should not enter the Grihastha ashram. It is better to prepare oneself in the Brahmachari ashram for austerities and remain a pure Brahmachari throughout one's life so that one will not feel the piercing thorns of material life in the Grihastha ashram. In the Grihastha ashram, one has to accept invitations from friends and relatives and perform ritualistic ceremonies. By so doing, one becomes captivated by such things, although he may not have sufficient resources to continue them. To maintain the Grihastha lifestyle, one has to work very hard to acquire money. Thus, one is implicated in material life and he suffers the thorns, pricks. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's all about the material life that we are hearing from so many devotees. Okay, before the discussion, I would like to take the blessings from Guru and Gauranga. Om Agyanam Timirang Dhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmitam Tino Tadmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamyam Dadati Shapatantikam Vandeham Sri Gurum Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavangsa Sri Rupam Shagrajatam Shagana Raghunatham Bhitam Tam Shajivam Sadbadhaitam Shavadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Shahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitangscho. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dino Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namustute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Bindavaneshwari Vishabhanusuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpaturu Bhascha Kripa Sindhu Vaivacha Patitanam Pavanepo Vaishnavebho Namo 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 Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Charu Saminiti Namini Snikta Cheta Shupranito Bhagminam Charasapratam Prabhupada Gata Pranamami Bhakti Charu Padam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunnavati Paschatya Sutarini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Again I am seeking to all of you, please give me blessings so I can speak something with this sloka. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So before going to discuss, just that recap what we are listening from other devotees. They have described so nicely about that life, about the material life and its allegorical story. And whatever I say, repeat from the Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra's words. And if I do any mistake, please correct me and forgive me. Today's discussion points have taken maximum from His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. So my gratitude to Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Actually, series of sloka is describing the allegorical story of material world. We found same type of allegorical story, Canto 4, that there Narada Muni teaches Kring Prachindvari. Here, Sukdev Goswami is telling to Parikshit Maharaj. Yes, text 1 to 42. It's telling about the futility of this material world, and 43 and 46 is Phalashruti. Actually, the direct meaning of the forest of material existence is given in this chapter, and this special sloka, the duties of a grihastha are compared a big hill over which one must cross when one is attached to material activities. Thorns and pebbles on the path of Grihastha Ashram. They are all the obligations in this material life. Actually, family obligations are compared to thorn and pebbles in this sloka. Family life also compared to a dangerous forest and bewilders the soul through sensual traps, false hopes, and attachment. And we found from the previous slokas that plunderers of material existence are senses. They are lust, anger, greed, envy, and pride and illusion. And so nice all the analogy and allegory words has given. How blinding creeper of family life, how to mitigate the distress, and how they go to the taking shelter to chief atheist and compared to as a like jumping in shallow river. As a result, simply breaks their head. And also we found 14 and 15 sloka. Family life is exactly like a blazing fire in the forest. There is not the least happiness, and gradually one becomes more and more entangled in this forest of material world. And yesterday's sloks, we found that conditioned soul image that father or grandfather has again come in the form of his son or grandsons. We sometimes heard from our grandparents, right? Yeah, it's all true. And we are learning from Bhagavatam and we are comparing it. Yes, it is true. So whatever is happening, why it is happening, we need to know what is the purpose of the creating the material world. Why Lord has made this material world. Anyone, any words for that? Why Lord has made that this world, this material world? We know Dukhalaya Saswatam, we know. Also Lord knows. So why he asked Brahma to make this world? Anyone, any words? Okay. Lord Brahma actually is a very great devotee and he has been given the service of creating an entire population within the universe. Not an easy thing, this one. Actually, the purpose of the material world is to facilitate unlimited jivatmas, to go through their karmic reactions, karmic situations, to exercise their free wills, and ultimately to be frustrated and surrender to Krishna. This is actually the purpose of the material world. That is the whole purpose of material existence. We can make so many fanciful books and poetry and philosophy about the world, but the main purpose is we have to frustrate it and we have to surrender to Lord Krishna because he wants to see us to go back to him. That's why it has made. And we have, this is actually bottom line. And this material existence is created like a prison house. Just we heard from that previous devotees, previous speakers, like a hospital, like a toilet, and so on, this material world. But still people are searching the happiness here. It is for people who by their own free will desire to enjoy separately from Krishna. And the laws of karma, the three modes of material nature, and the power of time are specially designed to frustrate a person in their attempts to do so. The purpose of pleasure in this world is to actually emphasize the frustration of pain. When pleasures, hopes fails, what we think, what we feel very much anxiety. Therefore, Krishna tells Bhagavad Gita 5.22, Yehi saspracha jibhoga dukha yanaya evate. Actually, intelligent person does not take part in the source of misery. And what does Krishna define source of misery? The pleasure derived from the senses and their objects that we are suffering and we are experiencing in this material world. And we found that family life and the duties in this purport has given. We used to provide protection, maintenance, and education for husband, for wife, for spouses and children. In Grihastha life, one is obliged to perform many jagnas and fruitive rituals, chief among them like Vibha Jagna and the Upanayan, means marriage ceremony of sons and daughters and sacred thread ceremonies. Traditional Vedic household life included many jagnas and rituals. Even today in the modern life also, the grihasthas face similar heavy responsibilities like jobs, mortgage, children education, weddings, social obligations, and so many things. That's why Prabhupada is telling in that purport that householders are very much distressed when they are confronted by these social duties. It is though they were pierced by thorns and hurt by pebbles, material attachment is so strong that despite that suffering, one cannot give it up. One cannot give it up. They want to see where we can get the happiness. So many options would like to search. If it is not happen, we'll go there. It is not happen, we'll go there. So many options. But ultimately, they are not happy. That's why Prahlad Maharaj is telling to 7.5 and 5, Hitvatma patam griham andhakupam vanam gato yad dharim asrayeta. The so-called comfortable family position is compared to a dark oil in a field. If one falls in a dark oil covered by grass, his life is lost. Despite his cry for rescue, his life has gone. This is on the coop, blind oil. And apashyatam atma tattavam griheshu grihamedhinam. Actually, grihamedi cannot see the welfare of the eternal soul, and we know who are Grihamedi. Prahlad Maharaj, therefore, is recommended that to stop this material condition of repeated birth and death, one should go to the forest. He recommended to his father that accepting Vanaprastha life would be better than going deeper and deeper into Griham Andha Kupam. The blind well of life is Grihastha. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we therefore invite to all elderly persons of the world to come to Vrindavan and stay there in retired life, and they spend their retired life. And so many firm has been established in that way. So also that's why that sages recommended the Brahmacharya. Why sages recommended the Brahmacharya? Now I will discuss about what's the Brahmacharya life, how they feel, and what's their duties. Prabhupada quotes how the advanced spiritualists recommend that one should not enter the Grihastha ashram. It is better to prepare oneself the Brahmachari ashram for austerities and remain a Brahmachari throughout one's life, so that one will not feel the piercing thorns of material life as in the Grihastha ashram. That's why Prabhupada so many times told, my Brahmachari will not get married. But the girls, they should get married. So Prabhupada is not talking here about the Grihamadi. He's talking about the Grihastha ashram, which means a very, very pure, dignified, moral, spiritual life, where Krishna is in the center and one's home is a temple of Krishna. And we find so many examples from the Shastras, like Sukdev Goswami. His father, Vyasdev, really wanted him to get married and stay home, but Sukdev Goswami had no interest. As soon as he came out of the womb of his mother, he was then 16 years old. And actually, he did not even want to come out. He did not want to be entangled. Better to suffer 100 years span of life in the darkness of a womb. Then he subjected to all the allurements of Maya outside of the womb. There are not too many temptations. There are not too many temptations in the womb of a mother. There is not even light. Can you imagine? Still, he wants to stay in the mother womb because he wants to voluntarily want to stay in the being to be a blind, deaf, and dumb the whole life. He considered that would be better in the stay in the mother womb. That's why he doesn't want to come out, because he know if he come out, his mind on Krishna will be diverted. So he doesn't want any diversions. But when Krishna inspired him to come out, his father also inspired, just come out. So after coming out, he just left into the forest, and Vyasdev is chasing after him. We know the old stories. He is telling, Shan, come back home, come back. I have many plans for you. But Sukdev Goswami has fixed. He was fixed in his brahmachari, fixed in his brahmacharya. So even Parikshit Maharaj, who is the king of the world, took shelter of him because of his pure heart, his realization. So we have examples for the four Kumaras. We know the four Kumara story. So Lord Brahma, actually in charge of procreation, he was creating so many Prajapatis, sons and daughters to help him. And one of the first creation of Lord Brahma is the four Kumaras, four beautiful little boys, and Brahma had everything arranged for them, marriage, home, and when they were about to procreate, and so much of world population, but the four Kumaras simply refused. They said, we are joining the Brahmacharya ashram, but they were determined. That is what Brahmacharya is about. Beba Satmika Buddhi Eka Guru Nandana. We know the Bhagavad Gita 2.41. Actually, they were determined. Vyavasatmika buddhi, ekha Guru Nandana. They were not wavering. They were not going around to ask, with so many people. What do you think? What I will do? Do you think Brahmacharya is better than Grihastha? Grihastha is better? Because they are not asking anything. They are fixed from the mind. They do not care about what people are thinking about these other things. Also, we know the Shankaracharya, Madhavacharya. And we know our that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He broke the heart of his mother, his 14-year old wife. He left everything. For what purpose? That to have no, actually, they don't any destruction. And so they want to do paropakar, welfare for the people, for the spiritual welfare for others. That Radhanath Swami Maharaj is telling, if your son, he is determined to sacrifice his life to serve society in the highest way, following in the footsteps of these great souls. It's so nice. Yes, I will follow if my son takes this life. They like Sannasha. Prabhupada, what's the Prabhupada's life? Now the four Kumaras, they did not want to have bodies that could fulfill them. Therefore, they would have no desires. They want to stay 4-year-old children. They have no such desires. They are completely innocent in this regard. In the Bible also, Jesus said that if you want to go to the kingdom of God, you must be like the child. You must be childlike, not childish, but childlike. That means very innocent, very pure, without duplicity and simple. The four Kumaras had mystic powers. They just stopped the aging of their body and they remained 4 years old for billion of years. For what? For why? Because they don't want to entangled in this material world. That's why that four Kumaras willing to go against their own father Brahma, who is not doing nothing but service to Krishna. So Brahma is actually taking the service from Krishna. He is all doing what Krishna has told. Lord Brahma is doing Seva for the Supreme Personality of Godhead on his order. But they refused because they simply were not willing to get entangled. We know the Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.8, it's nicely saying, Pungsa striya mithuni bhavam etang toyor mito hridaya grantim ahu ato griha kshetra suto apto vitte janasya mohoyam aham mameti. Actually, this desire, the attraction between male and female, is the basic principles of material existence. This desire is very strong. In order to fulfill that desire in a respectable way, what we are doing, same way. Then the byproducts are children, proper life, husband, and then you need home, and you need property and land, then usually have to domestic animals. We are seeing in our guest life what we are doing. And then there are so many social obligations and so many social expectations. Even in our congregation, in our family, community, we experience. This is really like thorns pricking and pebbles pushing in our feet. Yes, since we are trying to climb the mountain of our Grihastha ashram in Krishna consciousness. There are so many obligations. That's why it is telling we are climbing the hill with a big burden. And so we have so many social functions. They don't want to be disturbed. That's why they don't want to entangled. Especially in India, we found that brahmachari, there is no problem. No matters what's happening, whether it is society or family emergency, they are attending Mangal Arati, dancing blissfully in Guru Puja, chanting japa in the temple room, and they are out of preaching the glories of the Lord. But others, but we are, sometimes we say, we have to go to the other city like Baroda, Kolkata for the marriage of our cousin's brother, like that. And sometimes we have to go to the funeral for my like cousin's brother, sister's husband. So sometimes we think, oh, we have to go to the my nephew's son's what called the Annaprashan, and so many things. And we miss sometimes Vrindavan Jatra, Dham Jatra, so many obligations. And when we have babies, so many things we cannot do when we have babies. So many pricks and thorns. They are very difficult. Also, Narad Muni, we found he is very good brahmachari, and traveling around, preaching, chanting Harinam, and just like Narad Muni, Bajai Vina, Radhika Ramana, Name, always means he's taking the Radha Krishna's Leelas, Radha Krishna's name, and he's singing wherever he goes, and he's very interesting actually. And Narada Muni inspires and instructs his disciples so many. He has given the instructions. He has having so many disciples, and he was very really interesting because he was the guru of so many great grihasthas as well. And he was the guru of Prahlad. He was the guru of the Dhruva Maharaj. And also he is guru of the so many grihastha devotees. Do we remember that when Daksha wanted his children to be very well trained in tapasya, because of the tradition that that before the entering the grihastha ashram, they should go to the austerity. When they are going to the austerity, his 10,000 sons, they are called Hare Ashas. Then they met with Narada Muni, and Narada Muni, what he has done, he give the real picture of material life. And then they became brahmachari and went to the spiritual world. And that Daksha was so angry, and again he procreated another set of the 1,000 sons. And then they are called Salvasas. Yes. So again, the Narada Muni, the instruction of them, see how your the brothers, how they are happy, they are enjoying their life. I will go to the material world, don't go. And they also follow their footsteps of their brothers. Also, he found only not he inspires, also he convinces when people are in the lamentation. We know the Canto 6, the life of Chitraketu. How we know that Chitraketu and his relatives were freed from lamentation as they lost their only one child, and he meets the Lords and by blessings of Narada Muni. Also, nowadays we found the parental anxiety for child taking sannyasa or becoming brahmacharya. We found so many videos from the ISKCON devotees. The parents are really don't like if their child comes in the Krishna consciousness and stay in the brahmacharya ashram. But we found that so many examples from the Srimad Bhagavatam, like Shankaracharya, he took sannyas when he was only 8 years old, and his mother was a widow, and she was in so much distress. She said, "You cannot take sannyas. You have to take care of me." So when he was in a river and a crocodile was about to eat him, his mother was screaming and crying, "Oh, that crocodile is getting my son. Please help, please help." Then little Shankara, what he said, "Bless me to take sannyas, then I will get out of his crocodile." So what mother said? "Yes, you are blessed." So then he just left the crocodile and took sannyas. Something like that. And Madhavacharya also, he was 12 years old and he decided to take sannyas. And he was the only son. It's very difficult. His father had his whole life planned out for him. Madhavacharya said that he was taking sannyas. His father said, "You are only 12 years old and you are taking sannyas. Do all your social obligations, and when you become old, then you can think about all these things." That's why, but Madhavacharya said, "No, no, no. I will go immediately. So he went for the sannyas. Also, we found how Daksha was cursing to Narada. You know how to when they should take sannyas, you are not doing good for people. They have to frustrated in the family life before going to renounce their life. So we all are having like same mentality, bhog and tyag. At first you do the bhog, then you can do tyag. You suffer, then you will understand. But it's not. Those who want to go, they will go in any way. So now I will discuss what it means to be grihastha. Those who are in grihastha. What Srila Prabhupada told, he told devotees that when I was grihastha, I had 4 children and rarely did they listen. He said, now my Guru Maharaj appeared to me in a dream and told me to take sannyas. I thought, how it is horrible. I cannot take sannyas because I have to leave my children and my chaste and faithful wife. Who will take care of them? But now Prabhupada said, now I have taken sannyas and I have thousands and thousands of obedient children. So yes, Prabhupada did not take sannyas just because he was frustrated with the materialistic situation of his ashram. If you are a grihastha, those frustrations must be honored in a responsible way because they happen to be a part of an essential and integral part of the purification of the grihastha ashram. We say, if something happen, that it's for purifying. Even when we go to Dham, when we are sick or something, our Maharaj used to tell, the pure devotees used to tell, this is all anartha-nivritti. It means we are getting purified. So the Grihastha ashram is to go through all that stuff for the purification, frustration, anxiety should be there and for our good. And try to simplify ourselves as far as possible to get away from all those maya and thinking, simple living, high thinking, and taking shelter of Lord Krishna, Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. But if one is in Grihastha ashram, one must be responsible. They have to live with integrity and be an example. And if one is brahmachari, one must be responsible and live with integrity and example. So people say, yes, he is good grihastha. And people will say, yes, he is good brahmachari. That's why Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, grihe thako, bane thako, sadahori bole thako. Whenever you are a brahmachari or grihastha, it does not matter. Just chant that holy name of the Lord and become perfect. Yes, one can become perfect in either ashram, in a grihastha or as a brahmachari. Actually, the responsibilities of a brahmachari and a grihastha are that actually advantages of brahmachari and the advantages of grihastha, we found that both are there. The grihasthas are especially, according to the Vedic system, meant to financially maintain the sadhus in their preaching. And that's why we have listened so many videos that grihastha needs to be taking care of that, all brahmacharis and sadhus. And the grihasthas, they have so many virtuous responsibilities because factually the vast majority of the world are going to be married people. And grihasthas are setting the example how we can become a perfect, self-realized soul in the same situation, which is absolutely necessary. The special feature of brahmacharyas that is required, they have no separate motive, no separate purpose, and just whatever the Guru said is done. They can go out and deliver the message to the world on a large scale because they do not have domestic responsibilities. Just holding them down, it is a great benediction. It is a universal principle to be a brahmachari. And we also found that Srimad Bhagavatam, so many glorious grihasthas in the past. Srila Prabhupada's purpose, actually from a holistic perception of what he says in different times and different circumstances, then we gain a balanced understanding of Srila Prabhupada's spirit, because in fact Srimad Bhagavatam is mainly composed of stories of grihasthas who are Mahabhagavatas, who are pure devotees who showed by their example absolute surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whatever. Parikshit Maharaj was a grihastha. The Pandavas also, his forefathers were also grihasthas. Dhruva Maharaj, he totally renounced everything by the order of the Lord, became a grihastha. Prahlad Maharaj, he was a Mahabhagavata when he was 5 years old, but for the sake of executing his duty, he married. Durvasa Muni, we found he was a renunciate, and we have found also Ambarish Maharaj was a grihastha, and we know the story quite well. Ambarish Maharaj was in a more elevated spiritual position than Durvasa Muni. There are so many examples in this way. And of the glorious opportunity that the Grihastha ashram has for people who are aspiring for self-realization. We should not be Grihomedi, we should be the Grihastha, keeping Krishna in our center. We found the Kashyapa Muni or the Grihastha, Kardama Muni become a Grihastha, Vasudev and Devaki, the Nanda and Jashoda. In our congregation, we are experiencing Jai Shila Prabhu, Vimla Mataji, and Bhurijan Prabhu, Jagattarani Mataji, how they are preaching, how they are in our Krishna consciousness, in our ISKCON life. So many grihastha, so many grihasthas in Srimad Bhagavatam, all are in the perfect stage of Krishna consciousness in our ISKCON. Priyaprata Maharaj, he was a brahmachari, but for the sake of duty, he agreed to get married against his will, but for higher purpose, he surrendered to Krishna's will. So many difficulties came upon him, but they did not obstruct him from attaining the supreme perfection of life. So yes, Srimad Bhagavatam teaches how even while during the complications, the implications, and the obstructions of Grihastha life, one can certainly achieve the ultimate goal of surrender unto Krishna's. This should be our goal. And that Grihastha life, that Grihastha's people, they found that experience suffering in a Krishna conscious way. They think this is for purification. They think that whatever Krishna is giving, we have to take in positive way. Example we found from the Kunti Maharani's prayer. So we have to observe when we get troubles, when we get problems, our sincerity or our absorption increases more toward to Lord and to Guru, to Sadhu and to Shastra. Then when we are exhausted, we are in anxiety, when we are in frustration, we try to read the sloka to console us. So same way, we should take our anxiety in Krishna conscious way. And actually sincerity, one point is that discussed, sincerity is the topmost in a brahmachari or a grihastha life. One must be pure in brahmachari, one must be an exemplary brahmachari. One cannot be hypocrite, and the Prabhupada explains that in India, so many brahmacharis, and Prabhupada explains that Prabhupada gives the terminology is that they are bachelor daddies. He said that we don't want any bachelor daddies in this movement. If one is in the robes of a brahmachari and is not exemplary, not austere, having relationships with opposite sex and egoistic and wanting to have various loose type of lifestyle, then Prabhupada is told he is not brahmachari. The acharyas never recommend one to be the hypocritical, dishonest, insincere brahmachari. Prabhupada said that it is better to be an honest grihastha than a cheating brahmachari. However, if you have the sincerity and the determination and the capacity to be a very serious, strict and pure brahmachari, then Acharya recommend that do not enter into grihastha ashram. Because in grihastha ashram, too many entangles. Prabhupada also describes the various inconvenience of social function, and concludes by to maintain the grihastha lifestyle, one has to work very hard to acquire money. So much anxiety, so much of the precious of human life is just consumed in the pursuit of making some money. Such a drain, such a waste of time we are experiencing, but still we are continuing. When Prabhupada, with his great humility, he was an exemplary and perfect grihastha for so many years, fulfilling all his family obligations. But when he became the Acharya of the Hare Krishna movement, a sannyasi, he explained, actually, he said, when I met my Guru Maharaj, I was already married with a child, so I had to perform my social responsibilities. Then Prabhupada revealed his heart to the devotees. He said, actually, I should have renounced everything then that time. But it is better late than never. So he performed his duties, but he wanted to just explain to us how much troublesome, how much destruction and how much diversion is there in the family life. But the reality is, for most people in this world, they require that type of purification. Wow. Why? Because are just not sincere or capable enough. Sincerity is one aspect, but also karmically we have to have the capacity to be pure brahmachari. Both we need the sincere efforts and capability. Actually, when we compare with the brahmachari and grihastha life, we found the grihasthas face the more difficulties comparison to brahmachari. Yes, brahmachari life is difficult. However, Prabhupada is explaining here the difficulties of brahmachari life provide the opportunity for executive time dedicated to the service of Guru Krishna. So no distraction. Such a benediction. And if you are a good brahmachari, if you are actually able to do it, difficulties are there, but not even a particle in comparison to grihastha ashram. You don't have to go to all the marriages of your in-laws and your relatives and your expanded family. You don't have to go to all the social events. You do not have to take anxiety over your business and the stock market and what is going to happen when your employees are not faithful to you. You do not have to negotiate and settle with them. So many problems in Grihastha life. One of our devotees, actually, Maharaj is telling, is a professor, told to Maharaj that if you think that the politics of ISKCON is bad, multiple by tens or thousands, you get the politics of academia. We are seeing, because we are Grihomedi before, how we have seen how politics going on, and now we are Grihastha, we are also seeing. So in ISKCON, this is a little bit, some people think that politics in ISKCON is nothing. So much politics in the educational system and so many politics situation in everywhere, in work and community and everywhere the politics. So many political situation, and brahmacharis do not have to pay taxes also. How much taxes we pay? So brahmachari, they don't have to pay. And in the previous verse of this chapter also we found, it is described that the government tax collectors are like demoniac rakshas. Yes, it's very difficult. So brahmachari life is a simple life and it is perfect and it is recommended. So if you can be a pure brahmachari, it will be good. So struggles will be there, but brahmachari is better. That Maharaj is telling, and Srila Prabhupada also told. And also Bhagavatam says. I would conclude my discussion about that. Whatever, even with brahmachari or grihastha, we always have to be honest and sincere, and always we have to remember, grihe thako, bane thako, sada hori bole dako. Atah punah अत पुंभे द्विजश्रेष्ठ वर्णाश्रम विभागश samsiddhir dharma. In the end, it's still samsiddhir haritasanam. Whatever you says in the Bhagavatam 1.2.13, always duty, whatever one's duty, to must satisfy the Lord Hari. I discussed so far that what is the purpose of the creating world. why the Lord has made this world, what is his purpose, and what is the family life and our duties, why sages recommended the brahmacharya, and why they don't want to be entangled, and what is meant to be grihastha, and our duties and responsibilities of brahmachari and grihastha, and teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam, and so many glorious grihasthas of the past and their life, and how grihastha life takes the suffering in Krishna conscious way, and sincerity is the topmost benediction of brahmacharya and grihastha. And comparison, grihasthas and brahmachari, grihastha's difficulties is more than the brahmachari. So I will finish with that one prayers that is from Govinda Damodar Stotram, text 2. Sri Krishna Vishnu Madhukaita Bhare Bhaktanukampin Bhagavan Murare Trayasya Mamke Shabalokanatha Govinda Damodar Madhaveti Govinda Damodar Madhaveti. O Lord Krishna, Vishnu, enemy of the Madhu and Kaitava demons, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, enemy of Mura, merciful upon the devotees, O Keshava, Lord of the worlds, Govinda Damodara Madhava, please deliver me, please deliver us. Thank you. I would like to complete and I would like to pray to all of you. So we should sincere to our in Grihastha life to engage in our devotional service in sincere way. Hare Krishna. If you have any realization and comment, please share. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna. A few things came to my mind, and you have very nicely explained the verse so elaborately from different angles about the problems of grihastha and how it is, more problematic than a brahmachari life. But in this material world, we have come. So, as a matter of fact, most of the people in this material world are grihasthas. So we have to deal with that. It is Prabhupada in this verse has told that the life of a grihastha is full of problems, and it is better to be a brahmachari, because in that way we can avoid the problems. But the reality of life is different, and we have to deal with that. And ultimately, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which we are followers, because we are Gauriya Vaishnavas, and there's a verse in Chaitanya where it says, Mahaprabhur Bhaktavanir Vairagya Pradhan Jaha Dekhi Pritahon Gaura Bhagavan. Means renunciation is the basic principle of sustaining lives of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees. And seeing this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of God, is extremely satisfied. In other words, Mahaprabhu has not told everybody to become sannyasi. He has told wherever you stay, as you have mentioned, grihe thako, bone thako, sada hori bole thako. That means we should remain attached to the Lord. That is the basic things. And that, in other words, it is consistent with the same things that smartabho satatam Vishnu vismartabho no jatuchi. We should never forget the Lord. And it doesn't matter whether we're in family life or in a brahmachari life. The ultimate duty is to remember the Lord always and do our duties where we are and align it with the service and align it in the service of the Lord. So if we remember that very simple thing, but it is very difficult, it is not very easy to execute in our day-to-day life. But if we do that, then it is to be considered that we are in sannyasa in the real sense, because in Bhagavad even in Bhagavad Gita 6.1 also says, Anasrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti jo sasanyasi yogisho no niragni no karni. One who is doing his duty, being unattached, and he is really a yogi, because one who is unattached to the fruit of his work and works that he is obliged to do, whether he is doing in a renounced order of life or is a grihi, he is really a sannyasi. So we should not always give importance, as my Guru Maharaj, Shubhaksami Guru Maharaj always says, the dress is very unimportant. Whatever is important, what is the status of your mind, what is your consciousness, that determines whether you are Sannyasi or you are attached. A person may be Sannyasi, but he may be attached to the family life, I mean, the material life so much, then his consciousness is polluted. On the other hand, a devotee who is a grihastha, if he is fully detached from his family life, but he is doing his duty perfectly, he's not that he is irresponsible, he's doing his duty very nicely, and he is really a sannyasi because he is unattached to the material things. So we have to decide very carefully what about our responsibilities, and if we do it perfectly, being unattached, then it is a sannyasi life in one sense. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended us to do that. And what Bhaktivinoda Thakur has also said, Grihe Thakur, Bone Thakur, wherever you are, always chant the holy name of the Lord, and in this way, you are really a sannyasi. So with that, this is my realization.
Yeah.
If anybody has any other realization, they can really come forward. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
For your
Prabhu.
nice question.
Yes, nice realization. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, whatever you told you, it's true. Yeah, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told to Nityananda Prabhu to be a grihastha, and we have to take the always example of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. But yeah, some all difficulties are there. That sloka is telling about that. There are all so many obligations we have seen in India, especially how they are trying to solve the issues for obligation. They are selling their utensils to take the money for that obligation, to give the money to for somebody's annaprashan and some things to happen. So yeah, it's really difficult. But yeah, we always need to remember Lord everywhere, all the time. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. If no one is there, so we can conclude this class. Okay.
It appears here, Mataji, no one is there to make a comment, so the class may be concluded. Thank you once again for a very nice class.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhayeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti vaishnavrindo ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Radha Damodar Mand ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for very nice class, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.